This video was sponsored by Surfshark VPN. They're offering you 83% off with 3 extra months for free. Just use the promo code Jack Howard and I'll leave the link in the description. Nailed it. So recently I directed 2 music videos. The first one was for Ledley for her single Love Me Like That. And the second was for a band called Glass Caves for their song which is off their new EP, A Spin Around the Sun, which is out today. Weirdly, what a weird coincidence. If you haven't seen either of them yet, I'll leave the links in the description. I'm really proud of them and I'd really appreciate it if you watched them. A bunch of very talented people gave their time and efforts for not much more than fun. And I know there's so much content to be consumed, so if you spend any of your time watching anything that I've made, I massively appreciate that. And also, I don't really want to spoil them, you know? So don't watch this before you watch them. It's like putting in the DVD extras before you've watched the main feature. You've accidentally put the DVD extras in first, so I'll give you a little moment to watch them and then you can come back to this. Bethan and I, or Ledley, Magical Bethan I call her, we've known each other for years but we've never worked on a creative project before this. She wanted to do a recreation of the Sandra Dee sequence from Grease, which I liked as a jumping off point, but I didn't want to just make a parody. I wanted to figure out, why are we referencing this 40-year-old movie?
I actually wrote the song when I was in lockdown. The production itself is super like basic when you listen to it. There isn't actually that many elements to it, but I think that's what makes it kind of good.
I think you've made a track instinctively. It's got a great amount of depth to it, but is presented in this bubblegum pop. I can't say bubblegum pop. It's presented in this bubblegum pop way, so it's really accessible, but about this very complicated situation.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I'm so glad that you saw that, because I think what you added to the track really brought out, I don't know, the heart that I put into my songs, if that makes sense. Like I said, when we were making the production, it is quite simple, but one thing we did actually change, there are points where the chords go to minor on certain sections of the song, which is not typical of a bubblegum pop song. So like on the Don't Act Like You Don't Know, like you don't know, it goes to like a minor, but you kind of don't expect it to go to a minor because it's a very much a bubbly major bass song. That's kind of the thing that I like to do with a lot of my music. I'm actually saying something, but I try not to make it like kind of too serious a lot of the time.
So I decided to make it Grease meets Groundhog Day, but she doesn't know she's in Groundhog Day. Her friends know she's in Groundhog Day. There are lyrics in the song like, I try to leave, but he keeps pulling me right back. The chorus is just the title repeated. The beat is very repetitive. Repetition is a big part of the song, and I mean that in a great way. It gives the sense that this is something persistent. It's something that's happening over and over again. And I developed the story and the concept for it by making what's called an animatic, which essentially serves as like a rough draft version of the final thing. I wanted to spend the first verse, which is about the first 45 seconds, establishing the tone as a Grease parody so that I could subvert that later. Because you're bringing so many expectations to it. Even if you haven't seen Grease or couldn't quite place it, it's still got that cheesy teen movie musical aesthetic. It feels familiar and it feels safe, and I can use that against you. And it turns out the Sandra Dee scene had everything that I needed as a starting point. Setting it in a sleepover creates this very girly, innocent, almost immature vibe. And that's because Bethan's character wants things to be as simple as they are in a teen movie. But unfortunately, that is not how reality works. Things are far more complicated, and that's something that she's aware of but trying to avoid. She's trying to ignore it and put it in the shadows. I also developed quite a bit of the idea by talking to Vicky Williamson, who's our wonderful choreographer. And fun fact, Vicky also plays the second Bethan that we see run past in the mirror. And that's the moment as well when things start to break down and become more nightmarish. Bethan seeing herself in the mirror is this moment of enlightenment. It's when she begins to notice the pattern of her behaviour. I didn't want to go full horror, but I wanted to flirt with that, because when you learn something like that about yourself, that can be a scary thing. The only thing I didn't include in the animatic was the final section. I knew that I wanted to take inspiration from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, so I essentially ripped it off, but I knew that I wanted to film that bit from loads of different angles and different lens sizes and then cut it up later. I kind of wanted to take that glitching editing effect that Bethan had done for the song and apply that to the visuals. Also, my incredible art director, Miss Sophie Newton, who turned my 30-year-old housemate's bedroom into a teenage girl's sleepover dream. For the final section, she had this great idea to put vines everywhere, which made it feel like this overgrown garden. And that's how Bethan's mind feels, you know? Metaphors and shit. Having made the music video now, it's difficult for me to separate the meaning of the song from the meaning of the video because they become one and the same for me. The video was my interpretation of the song. But to put it simply, for me, Love Me Like That is about being caught in the cycle of an unhealthy relationship and the effect that that can have on you and the people around you. If you have a completely different interpretation of this, to me, I think that's great and completely valid because I just made it. You're the one who watched it and consumed it and projected your own shit onto it. I loved making it. I'm incredibly proud of it. And I thought that'll probably be it for a while. Little did I know, it's Saturday night. It's currently about 12:35 past midnight and I'm frying bacon. For the last few months, I've been hosting a show called the Amazon Music Sessions. We go live on Twitch every Thursday from 6 PM on the Amazon Music UK Twitch channel. Come hang out, it's a good time. Because of the situation, capital T, capital S, we've been getting musicians to play gigs from their bedrooms. It's been really fun. We've had some great guests. Biffy Clyro did it, Dodie was on the show, Rina Sawayama, Shay Lingo, and Glass Caves. Now, we really got on the show. There was a lot of banter about the bassist Ben, who apparently is a long-time Jack and Dean fan. They were like, "Oh, you've really made his day, Jack. He's meeting his hero." So after the show, I slid into the DMs of the lead singer Matt. I didn't really expect anything to come of it, especially not this quickly. Then a week or so later, he was like, "Yeah, go on then, mate. We've got a new music video. Do you want to do it?" Yes, obviously. So I made an animatic, but I didn't have any reference scenes to use this time around. Luckily, I had some footage of me celebrating my last birthday, so I just used that. I think it gets the point across. You know what, we should have just uploaded this. They'd specifically said that they wanted the style to be in keeping with the rest of their campaign, which had been inspired by Wes Anderson, which was a fun challenge because I'd never done anything in that style before, but the sense of humour that he has is very similar to the sort of thing that I've done in the past. The reason why I wanted to use boxing is because it's this very violent, masculine sport. And there's this idea in boxing movies as well that you're your own worst enemy, and I wanted to imply that that was the case, that he's gonna fight himself. So here's the thing. I live with identical twins. I know that sounds like the setup for a sitcom, but it's just my life. What was your initial reaction when I said, "Do me a dance by this weekend"?
Do you want my honest reaction?
I want your honest reaction.
That was it.
Well, I thought it was like going to be like a little dance, like a little shuffle or something. It turned out to be something quite complicated. It was a big old dance routine.
It was a routine,
yeah.
And you rose to the occasion.
I've always known I'm a spirited dancer.
Nimble.
Yeah, it was just a pleasant experience, I guess.
Oh, good.
I started learning it on the day that we got the first video sent over.
1, 2, 3, 4. So sorry about my cats.
I spent a good 2 hours in my bedroom just trying to get the basics down.
You as well, I've got this very cute video of you. Well, not of you, it's of your door.
Yeah, surreptitiously grabbed this video. Creepy.
Who do you think's the better dancer?
Just because, like, he's always been a better dancer, I'm going to say Jacob.
I mean, it sounds arrogant if I just say me, but...
But you think if you put the work in?
Probably still no.
And then that's where I want you to push through, Kieran. And cut. What have I done? Okay, the outro is much longer. There we have it. I hope you enjoyed this little peek behind the curtain. I want to say a massive thank you to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Without their support, I wouldn't have been able to spend nearly as much time making this video. Surfshark help you out with your data protection, but also they allow you to change your location so you can access content that's not available in your country. For example, there's a huge library of stuff available on American Netflix that's not available here in the UK, and I'm sure vice versa. They're also offering you 83% off with 3 extra months for free. Just use the promo code Jack Howard, and I'll leave the link in the description. So take advantage of that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, get the hell out of my room. Did it.